What happened in the previous chapter was when our protagonist, Mash, arrived just as Innocent Zero was about to kill Wahlberg. Mash tried to kick Innocent Zero, but he didn't proceed because he felt something strange. It turns out that Innocent Zero had stolen the power of their former master, Adam Jobs. He used it to surround Wahlberg with black magic, but Mash managed to get him out of that black egg. However, it turns out that Innocent Zero did that to steal Wahlberg's magic, and he succeeded. He showed what he could do with Wahlberg's space magic, so Wahlberg couldn't believe the extent of Innocent Zero's magic capacity. Suddenly, Innocent Zero lost control of his magic power after that. Wahlberg explained that Innocent Zero's magic power was beyond what his body could handle. That's why it happened. After regaining control of his magic slightly, he tried to finish off Wahlberg, but Mash saved him. Then Mash suddenly stated that he now had a reason to crush Innocent Zero using his muscles. Innocent Zero abruptly decided to continue their fight later, and he suddenly cast a magic spell on the arena. It turns out that he had gathered ugly minions and transformed them into a giant monster. Innocent Zero's time magic also became null after he left, so time moved again there. People noticed the monster and the students started to panic. Mash managed to get there and tried to stop the monster by pulling on the large chain that was wrapped around its body. When the students saw him, they still seemed to have an aversion to Mash and still couldn't accept a non-magic user like him. However, there was one student who stood up to defend Mash and asked if it still mattered. He made the students there realize that Mash was trying to save them and their school, so they should stop being judgmental. Before long, all the students there began to cheer for Mash as he continued to fight the monster. In the end, Mash managed to hurl the giant minion to the ground using his extraordinary strength. What's up, Onii-Chan? Welcome back to our manga recap series about Mashle, Magic and Muscles, a story that combines elements of Harry Potter and One Punch Man. So, let's start the video. Continuing with Mash's exciting story in a world full of magic, we go to a man who is running. It turns out he's running from order, but before long he is caught by orders and magic. Caldo and Dot also arrive and see the two of them. The man asks for Caldo and Dot's help. Caldo thought that this man was the one controlling the giant, and it looked like Orter planned to kill him. Orter remarked that it seems Caldo has sided with Mash now. He didn't think his mind would change with just a little persuasion, so he said he was disappointed in him. Orter pointed out that he doesn't accept Mash. Caldo explained that he never said anything like that. However, he admitted that Mash's strength is indeed formidable, and there will come a time when even Orter will be forced to acknowledge it. Orter just stared at him. After that, a week later, news about Innocent Zero's appearance at Eastern Academy spread around the world. To prevent public panic, the official story was that the Divine Visionaries drove Innocent Zero away. Nevertheless, many people still didn't believe that. After this incident, the Bureau of Magic focused on strengthening their security and preventing any information from spreading to the public. Mash, the only one who knew the truth, who was at the center of the event, now wrapped in a lot of information, went to the beach with his friends. Dot said that they needed to go to the beach during the summer. Mash said that he had never been there before. Finn said that he had been there, but not with friends. Dot, Mash, and Lance said the same. Lemon just stared at them, thinking about something. I'll just show it because I don't understand what it means. Finn was doubting whether they should be there because of what happened recently. Dot and Mash said, in times like this, he needs to smash watermelons. Dot brought out a slaughter melon and gave it to Mash. He threw it while Mash was speaking. Because of that, the slaughter melon hit Mash in the face and stuck to him. Dot explained that if they let it be, it will suck your blood. Finn shouted, asking why Dot would bring that there. Dot said it was because life is a continuous fight against death. Finn then asked why Dot's eyes suddenly looked hopeless. Mash suddenly slammed the melon to the ground and it shattered. He asked if they were going to eat it now. While Finn was looking at the watermelon, it seemed like he was thanking Mash for killing it. Finn got scared and complained that he couldn't swallow it. Dot yelled and said they should immediately go to the sea after eating. The scene then showed Mash and Dot enjoying playing on the beach. Finn commented that he couldn't believe Mash was Innocent Zero's son. Lance said that due to Mash's unfortunate situation, people will blame him for everything in any way. Lemon said that it wasn't Mash's fault at all. It seems like what's happening is the opposite of the peace Mash wants. Suddenly, Someone spoke from behind them, saying that this is Mash's biggest test now. When they turned around, it turned out to be Headmaster Wahlberg, who was also relaxing on the beach. They wondered why he was there, so he answered them that it's summertime now. But they thought Wahlberg was injured. Wahlberg suddenly vomited blood, so they said that he really was injured. They asked why Wahlberg came there. He answered that because summer only comes once a year. But on a serious note, he said they know that Mash can never achieve the peace he longs for until they defeat Innocent Zero. He not only possesses the strongest personal magic, time, but now he also has Wahlberg's space magic. In addition, he used his forbidden magic to further strengthen his power. Calling Innocent Zero the most powerful magic user in history is not an exaggeration. Finn and the others fell silent. Furthermore, Innocent Zero is protected by Mash's 5 siblings. Each of them is proficient in magic and is recognized as a top-class magic user in their own right. Each one of them is equal to or stronger than Wahlberg. Finn said that it's concerning. If no one stops him, he's sure that would be the end of their world. He didn't expect Innocent Zero to have such powerful capabilities. Their chances of winning are almost none, but that's if they're in a normal situation. They have an unstable element that can disregard what is normal, and that element is Mash. Mash turned his attention to them. His training has enhanced him in the following areas: instantaneous power, toughness, mental fortitude, and unbelievable strength. While they were talking, Dot continued swimming. That extraordinary strength will be their key to defeating the strongest magics. Lemon objected, saying that they can't just put Mash up against the most powerful magic user in the world. Mash told her that it's okay. He said he has a 50% chance of winning or losing, but his muscles have never lost, so he believes that increases his chances to 100%. Finn pondered over the fact that Mash's reasoning was the least scientific and the most unintelligent line of reasoning. While Lemon was blushing over there, Wahlberg added that Mash has the most important thing of all, his will with endless hope and the desire to help the weak. His heart is his true strength. Wahlberg said he is counting on Mash and hopes that Mash will create the world he imagines. Mash then said that he would take care of everything. He would beat up the bad people and bring peace to the world. He also added that he will graduate with all of them. Finn and the others were touched by his words. Lance suddenly brought up the fact that their end-of semester test is approaching and asked Mash what his plan is. Mash looked puzzled. Lance explained that if Mash fails one more time, he will be expelled from Easton. Mash said oh, and shortly after, he became nervous when he realized his situation. In the next scene, it was explained that Mash's new challenge is the end-of semester test. Lemon showed Mash the results of the tests they conducted for him to better understand his current intellect. It showed that Mash failed in magical languages, magical history, magical potions, and magical mathematics. Because of this, Mash became depressed to the point where he couldn't say anything. He was trembling as if his brain was about to explode. Lance explained that Mash was able to perfect the physical tests but really struggled with the written tests. As Mash continued to tremble, Finn noticed he was breaking down and seemed to despise studying. Mash expressed his desire to go home, but Dot cheered him up by saying they would support him. While Dot was smiling, Mash asked him if he was good at studying. Dot responded affirmatively, which seemed to astonish Mash greatly. He explained that studying is one of the easiest ways to progress towards your goals, and he thinks of it as training for every difficult job and does it a little bit every day. In addition, it's good for his record. They wouldn't want to look back at their youth with regret. Because of Dot's explanation, Mash became even more nervous and screamed out in fear. Mash expressed feeling alone in his stupidity. Dot told him not to worry, and that he would teach him. Mash then begged him to teach, his face twisted in desperation. Dot smiled at this. In the next scene, he and Lance started tutoring. They said for mathematics, they would start with the basics. They would skip the practical application and go straight to the test points. It was important that Mash memorize the formulas and how to apply them. While they were explaining, Mash was just staring blankly. They moved on to magical history, and Mash seemed to gradually get overwhelmed. By the time they reached magical linguistics, Mash began to vomit. Before long, Mash began to cry while Lance was teaching. In the end, Mash's brain exploded due to the sheer amount of information that entered it. Dot and Lemon were surprised and asked if Mash was okay. It seemed that our protagonist was out of his senses and continually getting overwhelmed. He exclaimed that he couldn't do it and would never be able to. Dot scolded him, and Lance stated that either he does it or he gets removed. In the next scene, Mash was writing. After a few hours, he tried to look at his friends. It turned out that they were all focused on him as he worked. Mash closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Suddenly, he jumped out the window, startling his friends. Lance said to let Mash be. Whatever the outcome, if Mash was going to run away from the first challenge, that was his choice. Lance said he doesn't have time to waste teaching someone who doesn't want to learn. Finn had nothing to say in response. In the end, Finn decided to look for Mash while Lance was sulking. Finn went to the forest, wondering where Mash could be. He suddenly noticed something and saw that Mash had buried himself in the ground. Mash said that he was returning himself to the world. Finn called out to Mash, startling him. He apologized, saying studying was too hard for him. Finn then pointed out that this was not the Mash he knew. The Mash he knew didn't hesitate to face the most impossible opponents. And he also added that he wanted to graduate alongside that Mash. Finn asked Mash to try again. After a moment of contemplation, Mash thanked him and emerged from the ground. He stated that he would do his absolute best. When they returned to the room, he apologized and asked to be taught again. Dot teased him, while Lance and Lemon immediately accepted Mash's apology. They ignored Dot and started studying again. Because of this, Dot apologized for what he had done. After all that, despite Mash's poor academic skills, he managed to give his best. The day of their exam arrived, and they wished each other good luck. Mash began answering, and as time passed, he slowly became overwhelmed with the questions. Before long, the exam was over, and a very sweaty and silent Mash was shown. In the next scene, the distribution of the exam results took place. Their teacher called his name, so he approached. Suddenly, it was said that Mash had done nothing but rebel against the school's educational system. Mash explained that he didn't mean to do it. The teacher further added that his grades were always low, so it was assumed that Mash wouldn't last there. However, it turned out Mash was capable of putting effort into things. Nonetheless, she said she wouldn't call Mash's scores praiseworthy. The scores of Mash were shown, and it turned out he almost failed. In the end, Mash simply remarked that it was easy. Because of this, his friends became annoyed with him because they put so much effort into teaching him for the exam. It was explained that because of the memories of his friends, Mash was reminded of an important thing, that with the help of others, we can move forward in life. And that's where this video ends. Do you think after this our protagonist will return to battling? What is Innocent Zero doing at this time? Write your comments down below. If you want more anime and manga recaps, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on new videos.